Welcome to our channel, Crime Loom, the place where true crime stories come alive. It started as an ordinary night in the city. The streets were quiet, the lights of the Hawthorne Tower glowing like a beacon over the river. Inside its top floor lived Victor Hale, a millionaire inventor, famous for creating escape rooms no one could solve. He loved control, he loved puzzles, and above all, he loved to win. But at 4:21 a.m., the building's concierge made a panicked call to the police. Hale's personal alarm system had gone off, sending a silent distress signal from his penthouse. The strange part was this: the door to his office was locked from the inside. The system, designed by Hale himself, had sealed it completely. When officers forced their way in, they found Victor Hale dead in his chair. No wounds, no broken glass, no sign of entry or exit. The air felt heavy, thin. Above the door, a red light blinked. Safe mode on Detective Rhea Malik would soon learn that this was no accident. Someone had turned Hale's obsession with perfect security into the perfect weapon. And inside that room, every secret had been locked away, including the truth. The story begins on a cold April night in Brighton, when the police receive a strange call from the concierge of a luxury high-rise. The panic alarm of the top-floor penthouse has gone off, and the system reports that the door is locked from the inside. The apartment belongs to Victor Hale, a 50-year-old millionaire known for his high-tech security systems and puzzle-themed escape rooms. Officers arrive quickly, but the door refuses to open. The small red light above it flashes the words, "Safe mode, on." Inside, there is no sound, no movement, and no response to their knocks. Detective Rhea Malik arrives minutes later. She is young but calm, her mind sharp with routine and caffeine. The concierge tells her that Hale often locked himself in to think, but never this long. Rhea studies the metal door. No keyhole, no external controls. Everything is electronic, sealed. She orders her team to cut the hinges. When the door finally opens, a wave of cold, thin air escapes. The room inside looks like an aquarium. Glass walls, a single desk, a chair facing the city skyline. Victor Hale sits there, dead, a tumbler of whiskey in his hand. At first, there are no marks on his body, no sign of struggle or violence. Forensics technician Dev Rawal joins Rhea at the scene. He scans the air. "Low oxygen levels," he mutters. "The vents are on standby, circulation minimal." Rhea looks at the red sign glowing above the door and frowns. "Safe mode," she says softly. "That's what killed him." Dev nods, puzzled. "The system locked the air inside," he says. "But why?" In the main living area, 3 people wait for questioning. Lena Hale, Victor's ex-wife, sits perfectly still, her face cold and practiced. Marco Bennett, Victor's business partner, paces near the window. His expensive suit looks wrinkled for the first time in his life. And Noah Vargas, Victor's assistant, sits on the edge of a chair, small and frightened. Rhea stands before them and says the words everyone dreads. "Mr. Hale's death is suspicious. The room was locked from the inside. Either he killed himself or someone wanted us to think he did." Lena speaks first, her voice sharp. "Victor didn't kill himself. He loved control too much." Marco interrupts. "He had no reason to. We're about to launch our biggest project." Noah whispers. "He liked puzzles, not death." Rhea listens, jotting notes, her expression unreadable. She asks who saw him last. Marco says they had dinner with investors, that Victor was still working when he left at 1 in the morning. Lena says she dropped off documents around 11. Noah says she cleaned up, set the system to night mode, and left after 1:30. Victor, she explains, liked to lock himself in safe mode when he worked. He said it helped him focus. In a flashback, we see that dinner. Victor, charismatic and vain, entertains his guests. He holds up a sleek remote and boasts about his new creation. The Hale system, an escape room that no one can escape. He presses a button, and the office door seals with a hiss. Guests laugh impressed. Victor drinks deeply. "Machines don't lie," he says. "Only people do." Across the room, Lena watches with cold detachment. Marco forces a smile. Noah, clearing plates, looks away. The next morning, Rhea begins interviews. Lena admits she and Victor argued often, but insists she left before midnight. She says she had no reason to hurt him. She was free from him already. Marco says he went home to rest before a video call with Tokyo. He looks anxious. Ria asks if he knows how the safe mode works. He shrugs. Victor handled the tech, he says. Noah is more detailed. She explains that safe mode locks the door, disables external access, and seals the ventilation system for focus and security. Victor used argon gas in display cases to preserve art. She remembers the tanks in the storage room. Ria files that detail in her mind. Back in the lab, Dev confirms Ria's suspicion. The air samples show elevated argon levels. Odorless, heavier than air, he says. If the vents were shut, he'd suffocate in minutes. He also finds residue on the doorframe, magnetized putty. This could hold a magnet to trick the sensors, he says. Someone tampered with the locks. The timestamp shows 11:47 p.m., while the dinner was still going. Ria's jaw tightens. Then it wasn't an accident, she says. Dev digs deeper into the smart system logs. At exactly 3:58 a.m., the system ran a routine named Hale's Mate. The sequence locked the door, disabled air circulation, and activated a device called Arcos 1. The command came from the admin account registered to Marco Bennett. Ria stares at the screen. So the system itself was the murder weapon, she says. And Marco's account pulled the trigger. When Ria confronts Marco, he tries to act confused. I don't know what that means, he says. Victor made those routines. I just handle PR. Ria shows him the logs. This was sent from your account, he stammers. He told me to test things all the time. Maybe he used my login. Ria leans in. Maybe you used yours. You stood to inherit his company and insurance policy. That's motive. Marco slams his fist. He was my friend. Ria doesn't blink. He was your boss. Meanwhile, Dev discovers 2 gray cylinders in a storage closet labeled argon. One is empty, the other half full. The empty one's regulator has been damaged with pliers stuck in the open position. He also finds that the Arcos 1 valve connects directly to the office ventilation. Whoever programmed the routine made sure the gas flowed until the tank ran dry. Ria feels a chill. It's not only murder, it's a murder by automation, but something doesn't add up. If Marco set the kill command, why the magnet and the putty on the doorframe? Why trick a sensor if the system could already lock itself? Dev finds another clue. A voice command logged at 3:57 a.m. The smart speaker in the office had heard the phrase, "Activate Hale's Mate," spoken in an unknown voice. High confidence. It wasn't Victor's. Someone had either played a recording or used a synthetic imitation. A deep-fake voice, Dev says. Could be anyone. Ria replays the previous night in her mind. The dinner, the drinks, the people moving in and out. Anyone could have recorded Victor's voice saying that phrase. She returns to the penthouse and looks closer at the chessboard on Victor's desk. The Black King is cornered by 2 white knights and a pawn. Hale's Mate, she murmurs. Under one of the knights, she finds a small magnet glued to its base, the same type as the putty residue. Someone had used it to interfere with a sensor. The fingerprint on the glue belongs to Marco. When Ria brings Marco back in, he finally talks. He admits to creating the Hale's Mate routine, but claims it was only meant as a scare. He humiliated me, Marco says. He told investors he didn't need me anymore. I wanted to teach him a lesson, not kill him. I programmed the system to shut the vents for 5 minutes, just to scare him. He'd panic, hit the alarm, and I'd save him. That's all. Ria asks how he triggered it. I scheduled it remotely, he says. Then I fell asleep. Ria asks if he tested the shut-off timer. He looks down. Yes, it worked last week. She tells him it didn't this time. His voice cracks. Someone changed it. Dev checks the code history. He finds that the automatic shut-off, the part that should have reopened the vents, was deleted at 11:45 p.m. from Victor's own console inside the office. The console shows it was unlocked with Victor's fingerprint, but Dev finds traces of synthetic gel residue on the sensor. A fake fingerprint, he says. Someone used a copy of Victor's print to alter the program. Ria remembers something from Noah's interview. The assistant once entered a tech competition with a project on biometric spoofing. She had the skills. She also admitted being angry with Victor for rejecting a personal grant request. When questioned again, Noah breaks down. She confesses that she cloned Victor's fingerprint using a glass he'd touched, but she insists she didn't kill him. "I only changed the voice line," she sobs. "He used to lock me in that office as a joke. I changed the system so it would say endgame in 5 before shutting off. I wanted to scare him like he scared me, but I didn't set the schedule or remove the timer." Rhea believes her, partly. The logs support her story. Noah's edit added only a voice prompt. The deeper changes came later, from the console in Victor's office. Rhea wonders, could Victor himself have tampered with it? Could he have tested his system and trapped himself? It wouldn't be the first time pride killed a genius. But something tells her that isn't it. She interviews Lena again. Lena admits she came to the apartment that night. She says Victor texted her around 11 to pick up papers. She went to his office door but didn't go inside. She swears she left soon after. Rhea asks if she knew about the gas system. "He bragged about it," Lena says. "He said it was so pure you could sleep forever in it." She looks away. He liked control. "Even over air." Rhea asks where she was at 4 in the morning when the alarm went off. "Asleep at home," Lena says. "Ask my neighbor. My dog barked, I woke up, and I saw the news after." Back at the lab, Dev finds footage from a motion sensor inside the penthouse. Around midnight, a figure crouches near the office door. Only the wrist and hand are visible, slipping something under the frame, a magnet. The wrist wears 2 gold bracelets. When Rhea sees the image, she feels her stomach tighten. Lena wore those exact bracelets. She brings Lena back in for questioning. "What were you doing near the door?" Rhea asks. Lena's voice is calm. "Trying to save him," she says. "I saw the lights flash and heard the hum of the gas. I tried to pull off the magnet to stop it." Rhea tells her the footage shows her placing it, not removing it. Lena shakes her head. "Then your camera is lying." Rhea doesn't respond. She lets silence do the work. After a long pause, Lena whispers, "He hurt people without touching them. He made us all feel small. I wanted him to be scared, just once, but I didn't want him to die. I didn't think the air would really stop." Forensics later confirmed that the regulator valve had been forced open earlier that day with pliers. Only Marco's fingerprints match. Combined with his programming logs, the case points back to him. The prosecution argues that Marco orchestrated the entire plan, a staged prank that he knew could turn deadly, aided by a system he had designed himself. Noah's tampering with the voice prompt only added confusion. Lena's emotional interference made things worse, but neither could override the final automation. Marco was the one who ensured the gas wouldn't stop, the one whose magnet tricked the sensor, the one whose account triggered the command. It was a murder executed by software. When police arrest him, Marco doesn't resist. He says softly, "He built a room no one could escape. I just let him prove it." In court, his lawyers call it manslaughter. The jury calls it premeditated murder. He receives life in prison. Months later, the penthouse sells to a quiet couple. They remove the glass office and open the windows wide. The smart system is disconnected. Noah starts a new job at a safety tech startup, designing devices that prevent sealed rooms from locking completely. She uses her first paycheck to help her mother's surgery. Lena opens a small charity for domestic abuse survivors. When reporters ask about Victor, she says only, "He taught me that no lock is ever perfect." Detective Rhea Malik closes the file after the trial. She looks at a photo of the crime scene on her desk, the chair, the city beyond, the faint reflection of the red sign reading "Safe Mode On." Dev knocks on her door and says quietly, "That case still haunts me." Rhea replies, "It should. It's a warning." He asks, "You think anyone will learn from it?" She says, "Only those who breathe before they build." That night, Rhea walks home under soft rain. She thinks of Victor Hale, a man who spent his life designing traps and finally walked into his own. She thinks of the others, people who wanted revenge, power, or justice and found only guilt. Locked rooms, she realizes, aren't just made of walls. They're made of pride, fear, and silence. Every crime is its own kind of prison, and every escape begins with telling the truth. She passes a cafe, its windows fogged with warmth, and sees people talking freely, laughing, breathing without worry. She stands there for a moment, then smiles faintly and keeps walking. In her pocket, she carries a small keychain in the shape of a chess knight, one she took from Victor's desk. On its underside, a faint mark of glue remains where the magnet once was. She keeps it not as a trophy, but as a reminder. No system is unbreakable, and no room is truly safe when the danger comes from the person who built it. In the end, the locked room mystery is solved, but its echo lingers in every sealed office, every quiet apartment, every person who thinks they can control the air itself. There is no crime without escape. There are only those who never realize they're already trapped. The case of Victor Hale would be talked about for years, a mystery that blurred the line between genius and madness. In the end, the man who built a world of locks became trapped inside his own design. His obsession with control cost him the one thing no system could protect: his life. Detective Rhea Malik closed the file months later. But she never forgot the feeling of that room, the silence, the thin air, the small red light still glowing above the door. It reminded her that sometimes the deadliest prisons are the ones we build ourselves. Marco Bennett went to prison for murder. Lena Hale disappeared from the public eye. Noah Vargas left the city to start again, working to make technology safer. A quiet attempt at redemption. And the penthouse at Hawthorne Tower still stands, its glass walls looking out over the river. The door was replaced, but neighbors say that on quiet nights they sometimes hear a soft mechanical click, like a lock sliding shut. The world called it the locked room mystery. For those who were there, it was something darker, a crime with no escape. Subscribe to Crime Loom, and join us as we unravel more heists, mysteries, and untold legends.